bumper sticker if I can't come up with a catchy one-liner. Anyways, I do love the coffee selection they have here. Truly can't get enough of it. I don't really drink it as much as other people, but I'll tell you, if I don't have a good cup in the morning, I'm not myself. Wait, is that clock right? Oh my God, I forgot to pick my son up from daycare. How in the hell did that happen? Goodness, I am so confused right now. That is wild. That is just, wow, they have hazelnut toffee light roast. I've never seen that before. Anyways, it's really nice to meet you. What'd you say your name was?
Is she on crack? How the hell is this what coffee did?
Did you think it was over? Did you really believe you wouldn't be dragged kicking and screaming to the precipice's edge and be made to look out over the world? Your life flashes before your eyes. Do you have any regrets? What was that? You wish you'd been watching more Jack Stauber? Ah, I see. So your children mean nothing to you. Well, that's great. I'll just throw them off the aforementioned cliff, and then you and I can go and watch Shop together, against your will. Before he made Opal, what some consider to be his masterpiece, Jack Stauber created a series the likes of which Adult Swim had never seen before. One that combined his signature animation style with the lo-fi weirdcore music that we have all come to love so much, along with a sprinkling of absurdist nonsensical humor, which resulted in a project that's weirdly wholesome, almost comforting, and honestly is one of my favorite things that Jack Stauber has ever made so far. And I'm kind of pissed off because it seems like almost no other YouTubers have made any videos on Shop, which makes me feel like it's super underrated. So that's why we're going to be doing that today. But you know what's not wholesome and comforting? Getting hacked by hackers because your poor, innocent data is being stolen. That's right, I got sponsored again by Atlas VPN. Let's go! Atlas VPN can give you peace of mind as you scour the internet, seeking the hidden knowledge, such as where I was during the Area 51 raid. You can browse safely and anonymously, blocking all hidden malware and trackers along the way. That includes the common stuff that's on almost any website you could possibly visit that sells your personal information for ad space. Literally everybody does this, and it's horrible and it's so annoying, but now you can get around it. As someone who uses Netflix pretty much all the time, I often find the selection of content fairly lacking in quality. But now I don't need to worry about it, because Atlas VPN allows you to escape the constraints of regional blocking. If you want to watch something that you normally wouldn't be able to watch in your area, changing your IP address is only a click away. Everything is super easy to use. One feature that I found incredibly useful is this area you click onto from the home page that tracks everything that attempts to steal your data. So you're essentially tracking the trackers back. Atlas also optimizes websites and search engines to show you the best deals on products and services first. Deals that normally get hidden at the bottom of the page by Google, Bing, and other engines in favor of promotional products. You could potentially save hundreds of dollars using this. Then on top of that, with just the one subscription, you can protect all of your household devices. Now you can stop hackers, demons, ghosts, and idiotic streaming services too. Because Atlas VPN Premium is just $1.99 per month when you use my special 82% off discount code. You also get a 30-day money-back guarantee, in case you enjoy getting hacked. Protect your privacy and get the many benefits of Atlas VPN for this limited time, ridiculously low price. You can get the deal by clicking the link in the depths of hell below us. And now I'm going to pry your eyes back open for
Pop opera
was a surreal series of musical shorts all about a guy walking through the lonely aisles of a grocery store while having short-lived epiphanies about life and living just from searching for food and meeting the fun and strange people who also wander seeking answers. Quick disclaimer, everything that I say in this video and in any of my videos is obviously just my opinion and is in no way intended to be like a definitive answer to anything that Jack Stauber himself intended. In fact, I'd love to hear your interpretation. So if you will, leave your mad ramblings down below in the comments. I'd love to read them. The first huge thing that I want you to notice is that there's a pretty significant tone shift from a lot of Jack's other creations, especially when compared to something like Opal. Shop, a pop opera, is an example of my favorite kind of absurdism. Absurdism being the belief that a search for meaning is inherently in conflict to life's actual lack of meaning. But as humans, we should both accept this and simultaneously rebel against it by embracing the intricacies and the beauty of what life has to offer. This lack of inherent meaning in life is something to rejoice in, not necessarily something to be depressed about. While my own personal beliefs more closely align to a basic definition of existentialism, absurdism is really, really fun. Something I really love about that mindset is how Shop, and a lot of Jack's other works, find the strange, the weird, the awe-inspiring, and just the general beauty within the mundane. Something as simple as just going grocery shopping. I'm a firm believer in the idea that life can get infinitely more interesting if you can pull yourself out of repetition and negativity and instead attempt to romanticize your life, despite how awful it can be. What other appealing option is there? But I'm getting off track way too quickly. Throughout this video, I'm obviously going to be analyzing and talking about Shop, a pop opera. If you haven't seen it already, I highly, highly recommend you do so before you watch this video. Links can be found down below in the description. Go watch it immediately. We open with a catchy little jingle that gets stuck in my head on a regular basis.
Pop opera.
We see living, singing grocery items that appear to have arrived directly out of the mouth of hell, which really just set the stage for all the fun and wacky times we have ahead of us. The protagonist, who remains nameless throughout the series, is called Jeff. He has a bit of trouble deciding which yogurt, sherbet, sorbet to sample, which seems mundane. But remember, everything has a purpose, even things that seem to be relatively unimportant. So just keep that in mind. Jeff has a little checklist of groceries he must obtain from the store. It's fairly simple stuff. And the first one up is milk. But before we can get milk, a random elderly lady shows up and oh boy, that's quite a face on your face. All I do is worry, enslave, and defend you. And all I get back is that fucking face on your face. This woman wants some pecan cookies. Then Jeff has the interaction from whence I've assigned him his name.
What are you, deaf?
I'm not deaf.
Huh?
I said I'm not deaf.
Nice to meet you, Jeff.
However, when Jeff goes to get the said cookies, the woman has vanished. Now, what's the most logical explanation here? That she just rolled away and we should all collectively forget about this experience? I think it's far more likely that Jeff is on signature blue methamphetamine and hallucinated not only the woman, but the demonic talking food items as well. I am the one who knocks. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I promise. Promise I'm kidding. I'm joking. Hee hee ha ha. Jeff tries to shake off the uneasy feeling and instead turns to the large refrigerator where they store the milk. He reaches in and grabs some, only to find that it has expired. Then he stares into the void and contemplates eventual expiration, leading us into the first of many incredibly funny but also kind of deep musical numbers. I like to think that the entire idea for this came about when Jack was actually at some Whole Foods looking for milk when he saw something expired and just stopped and thought, damn, I'm going to die someday. We're all going to die someday. The milk song is one of my favorites in the series, so we start off very strong. This existential track is about mortality, but uses dairy products to add a layer of humor and absurdism that takes the edge off of what is otherwise a fairly dark and sad song. What kind of milk were you? What kind of life did you live through? We are asked to reflect on our own lives as though we had reached the end of it. Do you like what you see? Every life will eventually expire and fade to nothingness as the boots of time trample more unfortunate souls and lay more bloody fields barren. So enjoy your life while you have it and live it to the fullest. Earlier, the woman said that she would try the cookies another time, but she's gone now. There will be no other time. She will never get to try the cookies. So the point is, death, disease, destruction, make like Thanos because it's all inevitable. So don't act out of fear and instead live for the sake of living. Love for the sake of having loved and been loved. Eat the cookies. Enjoy yourself. You only get the one. Also, there's an eye that cries a tear that turns into an udder that's being milked. So, yeah, hope your life drips rich with calcium. Jeff Mangum finds another carton of milk, this one not expired, and continues down the aisles on a quest to find bread. He notices an expensive brand of pretentious artisanal bread, which lets me know this actually isn't a Whole Foods, it was a Trader Joe's all along. A walking potato enters the room to try to get some of this artisanal bread, and he starts prattling on about how this bread is barely good enough for his well-bred canine.
This is for my dog.
What?
I get my bread from Ronzanto's. He makes the only edible bread in town, really.
Was your dog artisanally bred?
he only buys bread for himself from this other, far more expensive place. 'Cause that's the only edible bread in town. What a delightful cast of adorable characters we have here. The potato saunters off in a self-satisfied way, and Jeff is left to ponder the meaning of the word artisanal. And so begins the next song.
I could live in.
A reflection on what it would be like to live based on appearances and wealth. To judge and to be judged by the size of your house, or your car, or the outward beauty of your spouse, or the number of fake friends who secretly pray for your destruction, or the designer clothes, or even the organic 12-grain artisanal expensive bread you buy for your dog. The lyrics also seem to be a bit of commentary on imposter syndrome.
What's an artisanal made? Do I impress you with my dress? Who made this? Can I hide behind your success? Or is it excess when I talk less and I let things talk for me?
Hey look, it's me, Daniel, making this video right now. Never doing anything truly creative again and just commentating on other people's incredible art. Ha ha ha. I have a new album coming out soon that I'm recording in my basement, if that means anything. Jeff could be letting his possessions talk for him in a materialistic hellscape, but what will he do when inevitably he is left on his own again? Will he have forgotten how to speak for himself? The lesson here, of course, being that you should not care so much about what other people think of you. And to take it a step further, if the people that you manage to impress are people like that potato, why would you even want to impress them at all? Just makes no sense to me. He picks up some basic Wonder Bread after all that introspection, and next he needs paper towels. A jar falls and breaks and an employee comes to help clean it up, looking and sounding exactly like one of the goddamn South Park goth kids.
Oh. Oh, jeez, are you okay? Yeah. You're bleeding.
Don't worry, it's just mine.
And as we get to hear this accent, I want to take a moment to appreciate how incredible it is that Jack himself is doing all of the voices, pretty much doing everything for this entire series himself. The glass cuts the custodian's hand and he doesn't even wince. He just says, it's just mine, implying that his blood doesn't have any value. Which is funny because as a vampire myself, I have to disagree. You know what they say. Never waste a drop. Then the goth kid says, the glass shattered instantly, but it would take someone like you or me days, maybe weeks, to put this back together to how it was. And still, it will never be the same. Same with my finger. Open in a second, but takes days to heal. And the more of them that you use, the bigger the mess you make. This depressing monologue just adds to the overarching theme of overthinking and catastrophizing that really should be eradicated from every part of your day-to-day existence. The thoughts of messes only further add to the confusion in Jeff's mind. But thankfully there's not going to be any crazy songs or anything.
It's irreversible. Unraveling inescapable. How can I contain this non-stop endless?
This one is fairly straightforward in its messaging, mainly being that messes are not avoidable because humans learn through making mistakes. So instead of constantly worrying, you could just find a reusable, indestructible wash rag. I'm sure it's a good idea to mass produce those. If you want part 2, I want you to beg. Each like on this video equals one more month that this carton of milk that Jack Stauber himself delivered to me doesn't expire. And if this video gets to 3,000 likes, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna make a part 2 regardless. Yeah, that's just 3,000 is the goal, so it'd be cool if we got there. Be sure to join us next week when we will discover the real meaning of Shop, a pop opera. Hint, hint, it was all a scam perpetrated by Big Milk to keep you filled with milk. Fill your children with milk. You want strong bones? Milk. See you very soon.
I don't mind the sun sometimes, the images it shows. I can taste you on my lips and smell you in my clothes. Cinnamon and sugary and softly spoken lies. You never know just how you look through other people's eyes.
But you know what's not wholesome and comforting? Getting hacked by hackers because you're poor